part of its corporate social responsibility, the Tobago Regional Health Authority, under the auspices of our Secretary of Health and our Board of Directors, would have taken a decision in 2023 to host our first internship program. This is our third year. You are our third year. You are part of this hat-trick experience that we are calling Internship 2025. Did I mention that we are happy to have you? Yes. Yes, we are.
It is truly an honor to welcome you to the opening ceremony of the Tobago Regional Health Authority's third edition of its internship program for 2025. So interns, congratulations. Today you take the first step not only into the world of work, but also into your own leadership journey. This year's theme, Empowering Our Youth to be Future Leaders, speaks directly to your presence here. You are not just trainees. You are tomorrow's innovators, tomorrow's decision makers, and its change agents.
The theme of this year's internship, Empowering Our Youth to Become Future Leaders, is a true reflection of our commitment at the authority to provide avenues for our youth to be exposed to the dynamic field that is healthcare. We believe that it is our responsibility to broaden public understanding of what healthcare truly entails.
No one is here to hand you an opportunity. Whether you like it or not, life is a competition. You are competing amongst the best of the best to excel in this life. No one's here to feel sorry for you. I'm gonna be point blank with you. You need to excel and go above and beyond for what you want in this life.
Overall, the internship taught me way more than just how to do a job, because if I be honest with all, I was just studying in the morning. I had to be honest. It gave me real world experience because I was extremely naive as to how the real world was coming out of sixth form. I only did sixth form to honestly get away from the real world. I'll always be thankful for the people that I met in the internship, the lessons I learned, and the memories I made.
It's really, really good being here this morning as we welcome you to this TRHA internship program. Yes, it is something that started a couple years ago, and we did it because we are investing in something that is far bigger than just training. Yeah? We are doing something today that is way bigger than just an orientation. What we're doing right now is investing in the future of healthcare in Tobago. What the Tobago Regional Health Authority is doing right now is investing in every single one of you.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us live in Port Moresby, Tobago. My name is Dwayne Ness, and this is Youth Wednesdays. We're in the smack center in the middle of the week, and we are here to bring you that youthful vigor, that youthful vibe, just in the middle of your arduous week. And I just want to give a special shout out to all our ardent viewers, wherever you're viewing us in the world, in the region, and locally, on whether it be on 102 on AMPLIA, Facebook, YouTube, whatever device you're viewing us on. But this morning, I'm sharing this platform, and I have some beautiful co-hosts with me, and I'm joined with...
Good morning, Tobago. I am Renessa Ortiz. Thank you for joining us yet again on another episode of Youth Wednesdays. On over to you.
Good morning, Dwayne and Renessa.
How are
Good
you?
morning too. I'm fine, thank
Ola,
you.
I think the two of you kind of look in each other's wardrobe this morning because each of you has a hint of red. I mean, for Renessa, you wouldn't see it, but yes, she has on a hint of red as well.
Are you speaking about Renessa's lipstick?
No.
No. I spy. I feel that I spy.
Yes, you
But
feel...
to our viewers here with us this morning, Facebook, YouTube, and 102 on AMPLIA, a special good morning to you from the youths of Youth Wednesdays here on Tobago Updates.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. So we don't want to keep you back this morning. We have a lot to discuss. So we want to go over to news in 90 seconds with Miss Natalia Nancis.
Good morning, I am Natalia Nancis, and here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. The family of 60-year-old Daryl Figaro, who died on July 2nd after sustaining severe head injuries when he fell from a ladder while working at a property in the Bonnecourt area, is demanding answers. Figaro of Mount Hay died following an alleged 10-hour wait for a CT scan at the Scarborough General Hospital. The well-known electrician was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. However, relatives say despite signs of head trauma, he was left waiting nearly 10 hours for imaging, delays they believe cost him his life. Relatives claim hospital staff initially informed them that the machine was down and that Figaro will be transferred to Roxborough Hospital for urgent imaging. They further described confusion and conflicting updates from hospital staff with no clear confirmation of his condition for several hours. Figaro was finally scanned at around 5 a.m. on July 2nd, but died shortly after 6:30 a.m. His family is calling for a full investigation into his death, as they believe Tobago's health system failed him. Up next, Tobago October Carnival 2025 is heating up. On Monday night, Fog Angels, Juve, and Mass Band launched their 2025 collection titled Wild Wild West. The virtual presentation consisted of several sections for Pretty Mass and included options for Juve celebrations. Revelers can look forward to an all-inclusive experience and access to exclusive events. And showcasing their 2025 collection last night with a virtual band launch was none other than Iconic Mass, under the theme Tropical Bliss. Iconic boasts of an ultra-premium, all-inclusive experience on the road for both Juve and Pretty Mass. Both bands can be reached on their various websites. And finally, in a media release yesterday, the Environmental Management Agency confirmed that an application for certificate of clearance was made by Superior Hotels Trinidad and Tobago Limited for Rocky Point. The release said the CEC was a mechanism used by the EMA to manage the environmental impacts of proposed developments. It further stated the recent stakeholder engagement public meeting held on July 9th was also part of the CEC process. It noted that the presence of 2 EMA officers at the meeting, highlighting their role was to observe and ensure the meeting followed the established protocols under the Environmental Impact Assessment. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
All right, thank you, Ms. Nancy, for news in 90 seconds. We want to go straight over to our birthdays, yes? You sure? Right, so first we have, come on, this thing is in my way. We have Mr. Alston Daniel. Good morning and happy birthday to you, Alston Daniel. Who do we have next?
We have Miss Lenora Chapman Legal. Good morning and happy birthday to you. Wishing all the best wishes on your day today.
Who do we have next?
And last but not least, Liz Ann Manning. A happy birthday to you, and with that vibrant face of yours, I hope you have a vibrant day. Happy birthday coming to you from the Tobago Updates family and us here at the Youth Wednesdays.
All right. You know, I know we had a go over to the rundown, eh? But what's been happening in this space, though? You excited for Carnival?
I'm excited to be home, to be working. Yeah.
You know, it's so surreal that the year is almost finished. We're past the first half of the year. We are
It was just January.
Yeah. Time is flying, man.
In the blink of an eye.
Yes. So what are your guys' summer plans, though? Okay, let's ask another question. Anyway, we're gonna go straight over to our rundown this morning. Miss Nancy, you wanna take this one?
Sure, not a problem, Dwayne. First up, we'll have Dr. Raquel Small, Senior Veterinarian at the TTSPCA Tobago branch, speaking to us on saving Tobago Animal Shelter. More in that as we go through our interviews this morning. Next up, Renessa will be taking us through.
We have Dr. Sean Ned, and he's the Vice President of Tobago Chess Society, and he's here to talk about promoting chess in our Tobago schools, and I think that's something that's very important for youth in terms of critical thinking and the life skills that they can develop through this sport. And on to you, Dwayne.
All right, well, last but certainly not least, we have to discuss Capture the Flag 2025. We will be speaking with Miss Cassandra Thompson-Forbes, certainly no stranger to us in Tobago, and here for us on Tobago Updates. That is our rundown for you guys. It is a pleasure to have you with us. And guys, we have to tell them to do one thing before we go on the break, which is to
share the live, share the live, share the live.
Dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam. You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
The Tobago Heritage Festival 2025. This week has the highly anticipated Folk Fiesta on Tuesday, July 15th at the Shore Park Complex from 3 p.m. We Tambourine Story 2, July 16th at the Hope Community Center. Youth Quake, July 17th at the Shore Park Complex. Courtship Codes, July 18th at the Golden Lane Government Primary School. Tobago Old Time Wedding in Mariah, July 19th. And then we head to Mason Hall on Sunday, July 20th for the games we used to play.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more. Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high quality innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but my cousin Tofina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them, go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and Edward people them, you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Hello, New York! Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. Oh, I forget to tell all you, it's the 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me ram my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up. bring it up.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorns Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorns Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, we are back here on Tobago Updates, the Youth Wednesday show here live at Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. This morning we start off with our furry fuzzy tail friends, or saving them rather. This morning we're joined with Dr. Raquel Small, Senior Veterinarian at the TTSPCA Tobago branch. Good morning to you, Dr. Small.
Good morning.
All right, so let's just get straight into it. I think as we introduced, it's the Tobago branch. A lot of us know who TTSPCA is, but for those of our islanders who may not know, who is the TTSPCA?
So we are an open admission shelter. That basically means that we take any animal in, well, dogs and cats in. We take in unwanted, abandoned animals that owners can no longer take care of. We assess them to see if they're healthy or not, to see if they have okay behavior to be adopted out. We spay and neuter, we deworm, we vaccinate, we treat them for fleas and ticks, and we try to find homes for them. That's basically what we do. So our aim is to reduce the stray population. Our aim is to get to the point where there are no stray dogs and cats out there. The reasons why we do this is we're trying to protect this public, because as we know, dogs and cats, stray dogs and cats can cause a lot of problems, right? So basically we're doing this to try to protect the population of Tobago.
All right. And I mean, you offer a lot of services, but we're now at the point of saving Tobago's animal shelter. So how did we get to this point?
So basically, it comes down to our funding. So we are funded by donations mostly. We have a small vet clinic that we get funds from as well, but that only covers like our basic, very, very basic running costs. So the extra programs, they're not being funded at all. And sometimes we don't even make it to cover our basic costs. Please remember that we have about, on average, 60 to 70 animals at the shelter. We have asked for funding from the TRHA, but they have not been forthcoming with that. We need more help to organize fundraisers to get more money in. We need more corporate assistance. We need businesses to come in and help, people to come in and help, so that we can continue to run this facility. We are the only facility that takes in stray dogs and cats in Tobago.
Right. And so you're saying that the TRHA does not fund the Tobago, the TTSPCA. Who does the funding?
Government.
The government, all right. Who actually does the funding for the animal shelter?
The clinic and donations that we receive, that's it.
All right, so this is in an effort to raise funds so that the shelter is upgraded and we can do better with the dogs and the cats the animals that we have there.
Yeah, the facility, the services that we provide for these stray dogs and cats, they are expensive. Anybody who owns a dog and cat knows how much chow costs. They know how much vaccinations cost. They know how much it costs to keep them free of fleas and ticks. Responsible owners, they know how much it costs, and it's not cheap. So for us to continue to be able to do what we do, we need help.
All right. What are some of the things that the public can do to assist the shelter in being saved?
In continuing to run?
Yes.
We need volunteers to come in and help us with the workload. Our staff is actually very small. It's only about 9 of us in total. That's shelter and clinic. So we need volunteers to help us with little things like socialization. We need volunteers to help us with stuff like fundraising. We need volunteers to just help us with anything that their skill set is. We don't only need people to come in, or you can come in and walk dogs. You can come in and socialize with the cats. That does help. But we also need people with specialized skill sets to help us get certain activities going. We need to start an education program because a lot of people in Tobago actually don't know that they're supposed to be taking care of their dogs and cats a certain way. We need to be talking about responsible pet ownership so we don't have so many stray dogs and cats. We need help to get into the schools, to get to the public, to create this awareness. So anybody who can help with that, we need help with our social media. A lot of people don't know what we do because we're not very good at putting ourselves out there on social media. We need help with that. So it's not just coming to walk dogs and cats. We do need money, yes, definitely, always. But we do need people to come in and physically help us as well.
All right. And in terms of any future fundraising ideas, is there anything planned that the public may be aware of right now that we could participate in?
Not really. Let me think. We have book sales that are going on at Moorshead. That's every 2 months. We do need to plan some big fundraisers to help. There have been some ideas thrown around, but we don't have the manpower to do it. We used to have a jumbo sale annually at the end of November, but that takes a lot of planning and a lot of coordination. And again, we need physical bodies to come and help us with that. Anybody who's good at helping raise funds or project management would be a big asset to us, honestly.
Okay. And in terms of people who may want to, in an effort to assist, may want to bring their pets, and probably volunteer for the day or the week, where can they find the information and what pets do you actually cater to at the animal shelter?
What services we perform there? Well, the actual services to the public, we do have programs going on. They're not necessarily fundraising programs. We have a monthly low-cost neuter program that's been going on for almost a year, and it's been pretty successful. So if you need to get your dog or cat spayed or neutered at a reasonable cost, you can approach us. We are getting funding from another charity organization called Animals 360. We can be found online. The easiest way to get us is through our WhatsApp number, 3090219. That's 3090219. Or you can call the landline at 2331951. That's 2331951. We're very easy to find. You can use Google Maps to find us. We are near the stadium. The Dwight York Stadium. We're very near that. So once you get there, it's an easy run to get to us. You can come in and talk to us about what's needed and what you can do to help. We offer, you can come in and give up your animals to us. You can come in and adopt animals. We also have a small vet clinic. We're one of only 2 clinics on the island. So we do regular services for vets, for animals, dogs, cats, sheep, goats. We do vaccinations, dewormings, we treat sick animals, that kind of thing. So you can use our clinic. That helps generate funds as well, and you're getting something out of it. You can become a member of the society as well. You could always call in to find out how you could do that and be active in terms of our activities and helping us get our activities off the ground.
All right. Now, before we go, I just want to ask a question. Now, this is based on what you're saying about the services that you provide. What animals do you actually cater to? And I ask this question because I know a lot of veterinary clinics, they normally have partnerships with some of the farmers, the livestock owners, I should say, to provide services for them, whether it be maintenance, as you said, treating the animals, etc. Has there been any effort to do so? And what animals do you actually cater to at the clinic?
Most of the time it's dogs and cats. It's pet animals at this particular clinic. We do very minimal farm animal because for most farmers it's not cost effective because remember, unlike the state vets, we don't get funding from TRHA. So the cost from the state vets is very subsidized. So the bills look astronomical to most farmers when we bill them. And even though we're trying to give discounts, it still looks too high to them. So I don't really push the farmers coming in. If you need us, we are here and we can help. But there would be costs attached. But most of the time it's dogs and cats. And we can't hospitalize farm animals either because we have so many dogs and cats on the compound and there's nowhere really to put them. That's basically it. But it's mostly pets. We do birds too, but we have to go to the birds. And I haven't seen many turtles since I've been here. I don't think anybody keeps them anymore.
Oh, all right. And what about house visits?
We do house calls. Yeah, we do house calls, but usually it's after hours. So we'd come either before we start work or after we start work, depending on which vet is doing it. So we do house calls. We do go out to see animals. It is usually animals that are not too sick because in my experience, when they're very, very sick, I always forget something. So it's a struggle to treat them properly. So I prefer if your animal is actually sick that they come in. We do offer transport for cases like that. So we can send our vehicle out to pick them up to bring them in if the person does not have transport. So there are other options available if they can't really get to us on their own.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for sharing the information with us, Dr. Raquel Small. Again, she's the senior veterinarian at the TTSPCA, that is all local animal shelter here, located right next to the Dwight York Stadium. You know, that small turnoff right after D number 1's hardware. So if you need any services in particular pertaining to any veterinary services, that is, you can visit them. You can give them a call. If you want to be a volunteer, if you want to help out in funding, the TTSPCA is calling on you as members of the public to our local animal shelter to help to save it. All right. So, Dr. Small, thank you so much for being with us here this morning here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. It was a pleasure
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure as well for us. All right. So, viewers, this was the TTSPCA Saving Tobago's Animal Shelter. And you are encouraged to do so. The number will be found on our Facebook page linked to the uploaded live. All right. So, before we go, viewers, I just want to encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
The Tobago Heritage Festival 2025. This week has the highly anticipated Folk Fiesta on Tuesday, July 15th at the Shore Park Complex from 3 p.m. We Tambourine Story 2, July 16th at the Hope Community Center. Youth Quake, July 17th at the Shore Park Complex. Courtship Codes, July 18th at the Golden Lane Government Primary School. Tobago Old Time Wedding in Mariah, July 19th. And then we head to Mason Hall on Sunday, July 20th for the games we used to play.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting With Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways. Tickets to the heritage events and a 2-night stay to the Mandalina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Kina Macmillan on Facebook and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back, brush back. Do something and do something.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
When you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to Tobago Updates Youth Morning Show. And joining us this morning, we have an educator, trailblazer, and the highest ranked chess player in Tobago. He's also the only registered national arbiter and instructor on the island. Please welcome Dr. Sean Ned.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Dr. Ned, and thank you for coming and sitting with us here at Tobago Updates Morning Show. Let's start with your personal journey. How did chess become a part of your lifestyle?
Well, I would have started quite young, about around 9-10 years of age, and that journey has taken about 40 years. During that time, in the 80s or around there, I would have represented Bishop's High School, going down to Trinidad. We don't hear so much about chess being represented in the schools currently, but during that time it was a lot more prevalent. More recently, I've been involved with the Tobago Chess Society as the current vice president, and we've been pushing for chess to be revitalized in Tobago because it's a major sport around the world. You know, and that's part of the reason why I'm here today to talk on that. So in terms of that, I've more transitioned from a player because I would have won the third national qualifier for Trinidad and Tobago back in 2017. But then after that, I became an instructor, so I can train officially as well as arbiter, which means run actual tournaments, which is recognized by the prevailing international organization. So that is badly needed in the Tobago space because there's no other persons who have been registered accordingly. That therefore means that we can access things like sport tourism and bringing in international interest into the island.
And I'm happy that you chose to go along the path of ensuring that you have all the qualifications necessary for tournaments to happen here in the Tobago space. And I'm happy that you also mentioned the sport tourism and bringing international recognition here to Tobago. And I think that's something that's very crucial and important for us here as Tobagonians, that we also expand our tourism network in a way that is not just about our sun, sea, and sand. It's also about the other things we have here to offer with our local talent. Now, I know being a national chess player and the person that you have distinction. What does that distinction mean? And I know you have already applied it to becoming an educator and ensuring that you have the qualification necessary for the tournaments to be here. What does that distinction mean to you?
It's valuable. If you're playing chess or any other sport, you'd like to know that you've reached higher levels in that particular sport. And for us, it's reflected in a chance to be on the national team, right? A national team that has qualifiers every year. So there are 4 qualifiers. And the third one is hosted in Tobago. In fact, I host that as the arbiter now, right? But if you win that the first 2 places, you have an opportunity to be on the team of 12, right? And then you can recognize or take part in international tournaments, and that includes the Olympiad. Chess has an actual chess Olympiad where we send people to represent Trinidad and Tobago. Members of the chess team often go to that. You also have international tournaments in general where we would go to that as well. Of course, that requires more and more support as we expose the sport to persons. In fact, the sport would have been more recognized back in 2019, very, very recently. And that's because of the COVID. Out of that, a lot of players emerged because they found themselves at home, right? And chess as a sport can be done on your phone. So it became a lot more accessible. So now people are understanding the value, and they've since the COVID has passed, they've still kept on playing the sport, and they begin to understand the value. So we want to spread that to younger folk because the chess, and that's where we go into the schools discussion. Chess in schools is very important because now the kids will be able to be exposed to the value of chess. Not only in its gameplay, but it affects things like how well they do in their subjects. So that includes your math, your sciences, your English even, how you communicate. All of that is part of chess. In fact, additionally, we're adding on using chess to actually explain concepts in classes. So you can actually use chess to explain concepts like algebra. Right, that's a new thing, fairly new. Right, so a lot of things are coming out of chess, and I think I feel it's very valuable for us to pursue.
And I'm happy that you mentioned the whole concept of using chess as a tool to explain certain concepts in schools for our young people, because a lot of times we have a standard way of how the curriculum is presented, and not every child is receptive to the way that that curriculum is presented. And we need to find more avenues here in Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that our young people, especially when they have to learn, especially when it comes to math, that there are different ways that we can bring these concepts across to them so that they understand and they are able to apply it. Because now that you're saying that you want to expand this to the schools, I know you mentioned to me earlier you have been to bishops to teach this sport and encourage our students. How has that been for the students? Were they very receptive to it? How do you encourage and make this something exciting? Because I know if back in my day, someone came to me and told me about chess. I said, no, it's okay. But how are you going to get over that barrier, that hurdle, to ensure that it's enticing for young people?
All right. So one of the things that we often deal with, especially with adults, it's the same thing, is that a lot of people feel that there's this barrier to chess, that there's so much to learn. Chess is something that you work with or grow with as you age, right? So you can grow up in levels. And what we do is that we go with the more fun aspects of chess, and there's a lot of examples of that. One of the things that people like is the rapid game of chess, playing a chess game in 5 minutes, right? So it's a lot more exciting and engaging, and you have a lot of people around it. It doesn't have to be as quiet as we see the sport, right? So there's that natural fun portion of it, and then there's the very serious portion to chess. So you would have a student who is very, very serious and wants to go that route, and they want to be like the NBA version, right? So there's that version as well, right? In terms of the fun sport, there's something called the giant chess, right? So you actually have a more physical aspect where you're running around, moving the pieces on a very giant chessboard. A lot of people seem to enjoy that. You also have hybrid versions of chess where it's played with boxing. There's something called chess boxing. So you box and then you have a bout of chess in between, right? So there are many ways to make it fun. For us, at least I'll say when I was in my high school time, it was a break from school. So you would have your studies, but on the side, you play a little chess. You know, we had something in Bishops called the Devon Biscuit competition, right? So if everybody from Bishops knows what's going on, Devon biscuit was a thing that we bought a lot, so we just bought a few of those, and we vied for winning Devon biscuits, right? And that was run by the sixth formers. So it was very friendly, and and it kept things lively. And then after that, you go and do your classes and other things that you have to do, lessons and so on. So yeah.
And that's interesting that you mentioned the Devon biscuit. I know today a lot of young people don't want to hear about that. It's about the monetary value outside of it. Now, can you share any success stories since you've started working in the schools with the young people? Are there any notable stories that you would like to mention here?
Well, one of the things we want to see is actually the development of more chess clubs, right? So what we have are a few, I would say, developed chess clubs on the island. You would more see Bishops, you'd see Scarborough Secondary, I think Signal Hill, but that's about it, right? That is not enough. And one of the rules of the Tobago Chess Society is to try and shore up that, right? The idea is to have all of the schools have chess clubs, that's the primary schools and the secondary schools, and have members of the staff and compensate them for their time to actually help keep the chess alive in the school. All right, so that means that if somebody who is interested in chess leaves, that the chess in the schools doesn't. It's continued, right? So that, to me, needs to be at the level of regular coaching, regular training, and monitoring, right? For us, the trainers, you need more trainers. There's only 4 registered trainers, and only 2 of us are actually active, right? You can't have that to do how many primary schools and secondary schools. It's just not enough, right? And then also on top of that, we want to have more of the parents and the community involved in administering chess. So there's always the player aspect. So people would think that they don't play chess. They can still be involved, right? There are administrative needs, there are traveling needs, there are a lot of things that have to be done, right? And we have even the names in the public sphere would be like Ms. Kumar and Nicholas McCletchy, Alexander Kumar, Ms. Nicholas Pakachi. They've been recently in the news representing chess in Tobago, and they're fairly young, right? We want to see more of that involved, but that means that you have parents that need to be involved, and it's a financial aspect as well, and we're trying to cover that. And we're making some strides along those lines.
Okay, because I was about to ask you, you're the vice president of the Tobago Chess Society, and in order for the awareness to be there, there are things that needs to be done. Do you have an Instagram page? Do you have a Facebook page? Apart from going to the schools, are you going to the other NGOs? Are you promoting it in that way? What is the society doing to ensure that the longevity happens and that continuance happens even after the people who are currently there has gone?
Mm-hmm. All right, so on one side of this, we have a Facebook page, right, that's under the Tobago Chess Society, but we are revamping at this point. One of the reasons I'm on is to bring awareness. Most directly is that there's the Tobago, not the Tobago, the World Chess Day, right, which is, or International Chess Day, which is this Sunday coming, the 20th of July. And that reflects about 100 years of chess being recognized through the international organization. And if we promote these things and get people more aware, it's a way to give us visuals, right? So people know that we exist and we can bring chess back into Tobago. Historically, actually, Tobago actually had a lot of chess groups. I was told this by my elders, right? So that across the many villages, you had chess being played. And for some reason, that has depleted. And what often happens is it's run by the human capital, right? The people. If the people aren't involved, then the sport begins to wane, right? So for us, the contacts would be myself, the president of the TCS is Mr. Joel Peters, right? And once you contact us, our goal now is to have chess being done every week. So our intention going forward is to have public meetings, about 3 hours on Saturdays, right? And we'll advertise exactly where we'll have that going on. Okay, so and the intention also is to then further competitions within the schools and to also have a Tobago Open, right? We give a plea to the public in a sense to give the support. We accept support. Support can always be financial. Money is always accepted, but support also involves person's time, right? Simply coming in and being available to monitor kids, monitor the chess pieces, and bring things and all of that. That is extremely valuable and keeps the sport alive. So one of the things we would like to do is to ask for an acre of land with a prefab, very simple setup. That is our down the line view. And in that view, you have things like chess would be involved, obviously, but there's a thing called the mind games, right? Which is your Scrabble, your all fours, your dominoes, all these other things. But in an internal location, you also can have racquetball and basketball and netball and all these other sports. So currently we do not really have that available in Tobago. So that's where we are at this stage of finding a home. Right? And there's history where that's concerned. So a lot is there, right? But we're making strides accordingly.
Okay. And thank you for sharing all of that. And what I would also like to see is, since it's International Chess Day that is coming up on Sunday, something that the society can do annually is host an event on International Chess Day going forward. So that way we have our young chess enthusiasts coming out, parents, even the possible sponsors, they can be a part of this, and this could be a mixer or mingle to ensure that we bring the awareness that we want and to also bring the longevity. Now, before we wrap up, I just want you to share with any young person out there who is interested in being a part of chess, what piece of advice or what message would you like to send to them this morning?
All right, so there's how you can play chess, learn to play chess, and the value of chess, all right? So in terms of that, you have chess is a logic game. It's the premier strategic game ever, right? So if you're a person that wants to be better, or a child who wants to be better in math, sciences, or you have that interest, chess is a very good avenue to get your mind in place for that. So it's a lot of fun. You can play it fast, you can play it slow. How you can learn, there's a lot of available materials to learn chess. Premier choice is the chess.com, very simple. You also have the same name as the app, so everyone listening can download the app called chess.com. There's also leechess.org. They're free apps, and you can play chess anytime you want against people who are in Trinidad and Tobago or around the world, right? There are also tools there to step you up your game. So you have beginner tools. You don't even know how to move a piece. It will train you how to do that. If you want to learn to play novice levels tournaments, it will also train you how to do that. And the different paths to chess that you can move through. So I encourage playing the sport in general. It's for fun. It also has a serious side, so it's very well balanced.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ned, for coming this morning to share with us all your knowledge and the importance of continuing the chess legacy and all that we need to do to raise the awareness and to also ensure that our young people are equipped with the necessary critical thinking skills and life skills that are necessary to be the constructive adults that they would want grow to be in our society. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, eh? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but I have the cousin Tufina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Hair goals, we've
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. Again, we are here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. My name is Dwayne Nils for those of you just joining us. And yes, we are at our last interview for this morning here on YouTube Wednesdays, and we'll be discussing with Miss Cassandra Thompson Forbes, executive member of the Capture the Flag organization and group, about the upcoming event soon. You know, Capture the Flag is quite a staple event, annual event to in Tobago here, where, you know, which brings an amalgamation of all the school's alumni, you know, and we have a lot of fun in and around this event. So we want to go straight over to her. Good morning and welcome to you, Miss Forbes.
Hi, morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Dwayne.
How are you?
Thanks for having me. Well, a bit tired, but we are making it here on the last week.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we are on the last week ahead of our grand event, Captain Day for 2025. It's our 10th year, so you can imagine we have a host of events and the planning and execute, you know, ahead of Sunday. But prelude to Sunday, on Monday, we have an event. Tomorrow we had our competition. On Thursday we have night run, and on Sunday we have our grand event. And for the first time, due to circumstance control, we have 10 schools in the Dwiam, and we are holding the pre-qualifiers and also the finals one day, one spot. So you can imagine the challenges.
Yeah.
That's fine, but we'll make it.
Yes, but I want to ask you. I mean, I remember the year that this thing first came out. Were you a part of the initial forming of this organization, and what is it like being an executive member of this group?
I am a foundation member of the Scarborough alumni and also Capture the Flag TT executive. And Capture the Flag for me, it's such a full and rewarding experience giving back. You know, coming out of flag, we especially Scarborough Secondary alumni, we have a scholarship fund, and we also have an entrepreneurial grant that distribution that we have. So just planning the execution, but coming out of it, we the other alumni organizations to do the same, and it is such a rewarding experience. You know, seeing Tobago, well, we can say that Capture the Flag is the only, apart from maybe a football event, is the only event that can actually fill the stadium, the Dwight York Stadium, or have that kind of impact York Stadium.
All right. So you guys have been at this for 10 years, right? What is this year's theme? And how you guys manage to get 10 schools?
Yes, it's 10 schools and one Trinidad. So this year we have St. Augustine and Sheen. We had a Trinidad pre-qualifiers with Augustine, Arima, Presentation College. Yes. So they would have battled it out. We had a pre-qualifiers, and St. Augustine would have been victorious in Trinidad, and they would try to be the finals.
All right.
Now, 10 schools means it's 100% all the schools in all the secondary schools in Tobago, Roxborough Secondary, we have Scarborough Secondary, we have Mason Hall, we have Mount Signal Hill, Goodwood High, Bayside High, all Harmon, which is Blue Valley, all of the secondary schools in Tobago vying for this year from Goodwood High or GSS Kings.
All right. We have but a short time, Ms. Forbes, but I just want to ask you, what just to remind the viewers, when are the events? I mean, I have never been to Capture the Flag. Every time it's on, I'm either studying or out of the country or something, right? But tell us, is it a free event? Do we need tickets? What can I bring? Can I bring me food? Can I bring me drinks? Or all those things will be provided? Just tell the viewers more about it.
And how have you missed out? Well, we apart from our All Force competition, which was on Monday at the Food Hub, we have our for the food at 5K run and night run. It starts at 7 p.m. You can still register via online Island, or you can rush now at the Scarborough Esplanade. We have packages for $150 and $250. So that's the 5 run. On Sundays, 10 schools, gates open at 10 and kickoff is at 12, and we go all the way through up to the finals. We have a halftime show with Sasha. We have an tea with Saki. The open at 10. The cost at this point in time is $100 for uncovered, $150 for cover. And you can purchase tickets via Island e-tickets. And there are many ticket outlets in Tobago, including Milford 24, Lust, a host of what all persons need to do. They need to check the page, Capture the Flag TT, and all the information can be found on our Facebook page.
All right. Ms.
But
Forbes.
yes, persons can bring their food, no bottle, no glass bottles, and coolers in by 4 p.m. So it's a family day. You can bring your children, come out and have a grand time at Capture the Flag 2020. This is 10.
All right, Ms. Forbes. I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for sharing. Guys, you have to Miss Capture the Flag. Unfortunately, I will not be here, so I will be missing. It's for 10 years straight, but I don't know. But I would definitely plan for next year, pleasing God. To be there.
We'll have to have you.
Of course. I mean, I could play football and I could beat Messi and thing. Yeah. I train Messi. So.
Well, Mount Mary Boys is in. You can speak to your to your affiliate organization.
No problem. So thank you very much again, guys. That was Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, executive member of Capture the Flag. This is their 10th year of their show, their event. Please support, be there, immerse yourself, and and share all the pictures and so on, so that this could become a regional and an international thing. So perhaps we might have Barcelona come in and play against the schools. We never know. But
we might get a school from England.
Yeah.
Just hold tight. Capture the Flag places. Just wait for it. We are the SSS most powerful alumni there is. You just need to hold on to yourself. We can take you.
All right, you be careful with that now. But thank you again, Ms. Forbes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Forbes. Guys, this brings us to the end of Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates morning show. Unfortunately, guys, we're going to go over to Good Morning Tobago with Miss Chanel Felix. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
This career day is one of the most important days in the lives of the students, because these students are just discovering themselves. And we want to expose them to as much possibilities as possible so that at the end of the day, they will not only be limited to what they knew before, they will see, well, okay, maybe all the time I was stuck thinking that I wanted to do this, but there is something better for me to do. So better exposure, better choices means that you have a greater chance to succeed in life.
We have about 30 different booths. The professions vary from tertiary education to entrepreneurship, to employment after college or after high school, which is WASA. We have THTI, we also have MIC, COSTAT, and we have makeup artists, nail technicians, and barbering going on the inside of the building as well. Our theme this year is Step Out into New Possibilities, and I want my students to understand that it's not just a closed-minded thing where it's just early morning work for them. It's more creating your own employment, finding new ideas to create employment in Tobago. Don't sit and wait for somebody else to employ you.
It's wonderful is for us to get to know more about the careers that are out there that we need. If we want, we could join and become someone in life and to end up on the streets or begging for little dollars and $2. I want to become a policeman to bring law and order to the society of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a fun thing to let the kids learn about what they have to do in life and thing. My favorite part is the cooking part.
I think it is very inspiring to the upcoming youths.
I have been at a couple of career fairs in the sense of teaching children how to trim. Also, barbering is it's something that is be overlooked, I should say, but is one of the most essential parts of grooming, because men need to be groomed in order to go out to places, whether it be the workplace or out at parties, etc. And it tends to be overlooked. So I choose to come to the career fair to promote myself and also to teach people how to become a barber.
I believe in career fair because it allows for an opportunity for students to understand what career path that they would like to go into, and stepping into your new possibilities is one of the things I think is a good team, and what it allows for students to understand that they have to know their purpose, they have to know what they desire in life, and from that build on their brand and what they want to become as future generations.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Good morning, Tobago, right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The family of 60-year-old Daryl Figaro, who died on July 2nd after sustaining severe head injuries, when he fell from a ladder while working at a property in Bonaccord area is demanding answers. Figueroa of Mount Hay died following an alleged 10-hour wait for a CT scan at the Scarborough General Hospital. The well-known electrician was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. However, relatives say despite signs of head trauma, he was left waiting nearly 10 hours for imaging. Delays, they believe, cost him his life. Relatives claim hospital staff initially informed them that the machine was down and that Figueroa will be transferred to Roxborough Hospital for urgent imaging. They further described confusion and conflicting updates from hospital staff with no clear confirmation of his condition for several hours. Figueroa was finally scanned at around 5 a.m. on July 2nd, but died shortly after at 6:30 a.m. His family is calling for a full investigation into his death as they believe Tobago's health system failed him. Additionally, Tobago October Carnival 2025 is heating up. On Monday night, Fog Angels Juve Band and Mass Band launched their 2025 collection titled Wild Wild West. The virtual presentation consisted of several sections for Pretty Mass and included options for Juve celebrations. Revelers can look forward to an all-inclusive experience and access to exclusive events. Showcasing their 2025 collection last night was a virtual band launch for none other than Iconic Mass under the theme Tropical Bliss. Iconic boasts of an ultra-premium, all-inclusive experience on the road for both Juve and Pretty Mass. Both bands can be reached on their various platforms. And finally, in a media release yesterday, the Environmental Management Agency, EMA, confirmed that an application for certification of clearance was made by Superior Hotel Trinidad and Tobago Limited for Rocky Point. The release said the CEC was a mechanism used by the EMA to manage environmental impact of proposed developments. It further stated that the recent stakeholder engagement meeting held on July 9th was also a part of the CEC process. It noted that the presence of 2 EMA officers at the meeting, highlighting that their role was to observe and ensure that the meeting followed the established protocol under environmental impact. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Now, following our news headline this morning, we are talking all about the 2025 October Carnival. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have President of the Tobago October Carnival Association, Mr. Dexter Stanley. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning to all your viewers.
Right. This morning you're here in the capacity of president, but also representing Iconic Mass, right?
Yeah.
And I see that you guys had that big virtual launch last night where you launched your offering for 2025 October Carnival. And, it created a lot of buzz and excitement around the Tobago Carnival and what can be expected, along with other mass bands doing the same as well. And so this has kind of set the stage for what we can expect from this year. And one of the words that you hear coming out is, that quality this year, that persons are looking for that quality. Talk to us about what happened last night in that virtual launch.
Well, definitely this morning, I'm split between two emotions. One of excitement and one of disappointment. But I'll speak to the excitement first. So the excitement really stems from last night. Iconic Mass, we were able to deliver virtually our 2025 Tropical Bliss theme. It's something that we've been working on very hard for the past 5 months. A lot of persons were anticipating, when is the launch? Why are you all taking so long? But it's a lot of work that goes into preparing just to bring it to market. But I must say last night was really full of excitement. And a lot of people have sent messages. Sales have already started on our website. And it shows that there's a market ready to enjoy Tobago October Carnival. Yeah. In terms of the theme, Tropical Bliss, This year we're going to have 5 sections on the road. Last night we'd have launched just 4 Pretty Mass sections, as well as 4 sections for Juve. So a masquerader definitely has many options across Juve, especially ladies. Last year we listened, they asked for something a little more sexier, whereas our thicker masqueraders asked for something a little more conservatism. So we've been able to fulfill both requests. And as well, there's the traditional T-shirt that you really know, cut up, self-design, to come out on Juve morning. And of course, the Juve offering, we do have the paint, the powder, we do have an element of water. You have your premium drinks all morning. We have breakfast included. So those are some of the things you could look forward to Juve morning, and likewise for Mass. It's that ultra premium experience on the road, one like no other.
Right. And you know, even at this point in time, are you having early bird specials in terms of the pricing, or is the pricing consistent throughout? What can we expect from, you know, in terms of the packages that are being presented?
Well, definitely the prices that we have put out are very, very attractive. We did have an early bird special prior to the launch, and a lot of loyal masqueraders, return masqueraders would have bought into it. So Juve already, I could say, is about 20-25% subscribed, right? Based on the pre-sales. But I mean, our Juve packages right now, they're going at, it's $600 for the t-shirt package, and the monokinis are priced at $750. Pretty affordable, because it's not just the costume you're purchasing, but you're also entitled to a full experience on the road. A lot of amenities and a lot of things are going to be given to that masquerader from distribution, come straight to the road presentation. You know, so when somebody asks, what do I get for that $600 or $750? There's a lot in store, and you could always check it out on our website. And as well as for the Mass, persons who may be new to Mass may look at a costume, a bikini, a monokini, and they would look at the price that they're paying, but you are not purchasing just that clothing. You are purchasing an experience, and the band has a responsibility to deliver a lot of things. You have to deliver that wonderful 40-foot music truck. We have to deliver unlimited drinks to you over 8 to 10 hour period, right? We have to deliver to you a meal on the day, as well as there are other things that we do add in as a plus for you to enjoy. So I would say to anyone, you could always check out our website, which is www.iconicmasst.com, and you would see all the information, all the offerings there with regards to the costumes. And now is the time to purchase.
Right. And, you know, from my observation, looking at carnivals throughout the region, I have observed that there are 3 key drivers of a successful carnival. One being the bands, brands, and then the people and their involvement in the carnival. And, you know, in your introduction, you indicated that there was a stint of disappointment there. Tell us a bit about where that disappointment stems from, and you know, even as it pertains to the bands, the brands, and the people being the driver of the carnival. What do you feel is that missing piece of the puzzle that is causing that level of disappointment?
Well, definitely the bands have shown their hand, right? We have at least right now at least 10 bands that would have launched their offering to the public. Some would be a little more noticeable than some because of the sheer size and the production that they would have put on. But we have had at least 10 bands putting out between Mass, Juve, and even Night Mass their offerings on their social media platforms. In terms of the people, I must say that the people have been looking forward. They have been calling, they have been WhatsApping. Band leaders have been giving me positive feedback that, listen, people are really ready to come to Tobago. Right? We have people from as far as France. There's a team of 15 confirmed to come from France, Toronto, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Barbados, New York, Miami. These are confirmed. They have already purchased their plane tickets to come down way in advance, right? Waiting on our offering, and the bands have come forward. Where the disappointment comes in particular, is the authorities that are in charge of Carnival, that would have announced Carnival over 3 years ago and said that Tobago will have its own carnival in October. We are making the same mistakes. I shouldn't say we, they are making the same mistakes again, right? We are into year 4, and at the end of year 3, TRHA, we had a responsibility to submit a report on our assessment of the carnival, pros, cons, and those sort of things, and we did that. And we identified again that marketing of the destination, marketing of the carnival is something that we really need to get out very, very early. There was a delay between January to probably, I think it was May. We had a public consultation. A lot of people saw it, right? The Division of Tourism was there, the technocrats was there. The Festival Commission would have been there. We would have had other representatives there. Band leaders would have also been there. And although it may have come a bit late, we were still positive and, okay, we're going to now proceed with something tangible, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, because Carnival is approaching. A lot of people want to come to the destination. From since then in May to now, nothing has been said, nothing has been done, other than the bands coming out, spending their finances, investing into the Tobago Carnival, but everything else is just quiet.
Right. And what are those tangible recommendations that were made in terms of activation of the carnival?
So we spoke to marketing on different levels, both at home and abroad. What is required? We would have done a test last year with Tobago Day in New York. And there were some things that we said, you know what, can be tweaked to really give mass or the Tobago Carnival a bigger highlight than what it got last year. We haven't had any conversation. Tobago Day is 1 month away.
Right. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because you have been the president of the Tobago October Carnival Association from the beginning to now. And one of those major conversations that happened in the beginning had to do with taking the festival out of the hands of the public sector and, you know, having the private sector and the citizens of Tobago taking charge of the Tobago Carnival. In that, Tobago Carnival is not a TRHA Carnival, but a Tobago Carnival, meaning that there is both an individual and a collective responsibility for the people of Tobago to drive the festival. And, you know, you might be asking, what does that look like on an individual level? People might be saying, okay, I'm not seeing anything happening.
Correct.
But what does that look like when we say we take personal responsibility for the festival? That looks like, from my perspective, what that looks like is not waiting for the TRHA to launch the carnival.
Right.
We already know when the dates for carnival are.
Yeah.
That means that on an individual level where businesses are concerned, now is the time where we should see all those carnival specials coming out. Whether it be for the hotels or for the villas, whether the content creators that are in Tobago begin having those partnerships with those villas, you know, where there's a win-win situation.
Well, I would speak to that because some of those partnerships have already been formed. Some bands already have partnerships with villas and condo rental property managers who have come to us and said, listen, we have room stock. It's not a large room stock, but let's say we have 20, 25 in our inventory. We want to partner with you. And that has been happening in the background. That's how we could accommodate some of those teams. That same team from France, they have an arrangement with a hotel in the West already. Those the international guests already have things put in place through some of those same synergies. But I'm saying to you that as it is right now, we need an independent body, and TOCA is there and ready to run with this thing, right? It wouldn't happen for this year because it's too close to execution. But there needs to be an independent body handling the carnival for October year-round. It can't be a group of persons or an entity that has to manage multiple festivals.
Correct.
The magnitude that Tobago Carnival has on the economy of Tobago, this needs an independent body to see about it from the crack of dawn till.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I recently had a conversation with the Secretary for the Division of Tourism. And, you know, they look at it from a holistic festival tourism perspective where the Tobago Carnival is one of the many festivals that take place on the island. So they have the task of trying to market that in addition to everything else that is happening. So I'm glad that you raised the fact that TOCA probably has to take a greater role in driving the festival, because I am of the opinion that if you are in charge of the festival, then there's no politician no matter how the pendulum swings, that could come and say there's no October Carnival, because you are already driving an independent festival that is sustainable within itself. So let's go back to the whole conversation about taking individual and collective responsibility. Yeah. What does that look like for businesses on the island to really take responsibility for the festival moving forward? Because we are observing that they just cannot.
So definitely it is a greater conversation to be had. And a conversation like this in terms of building out that structure and the strategy, it has to be something done 14, 16 months in advance of execution, right? It can't be something that is done within 5 months or less. So the cries that you're hearing here today is for Carnival for 2026. For 2026 to really happen, we need to put things in place from now. But we had a situation where this was discussed last year, and as soon as Carnival October was completed last year, we went silent, right? And that is not good enough, right? We have to do better if it is we want this Carnival to continue, if we want it to be sustainable. And for the players that are in it right now, the Marcelin Ned, the Fog Angels, the Iconic, the Jade Monkey, the Casato Promotions, the MVP Mass, I could name them all, the Bliss Carnival, for these, Blush Carnival, for all these bands to continue to survive, we need to make those moves now, put things in place. And when we do put things in place, we must make sure that there's adequate funding to give the entity now some claw to actually make things happen.
Right. And, you know, even as we look at the economic situation, we look at it from a global perspective and we look at it from a local perspective. We saw that a new administration came in at the central government level very recently and talking about the level of deficit that the country is currently in, you know, the level of our debt. We saw that even in the mid-year review, Tobago only received $32 million in its reallocation for the mid-year. The truth is that no one is coming to save us. We rely from that economic outlook, we don't have the money.
Right.
And if we have been putting that type of money into the festival before, at what point do we say, okay, we have made the investment, now the bands are sustainable enough, because it is a business.
Yeah, it is.
Right? To be able to continue to promote, to grow, and to build the festival out.
But what I would say to that is that the government of the day has a clear responsibility to Tobago to ensure that economic development continues, there's economic viability, whether it be private sector or public sector. Is the Carnival sustainable on its own without government intervention? At this point in time, no, it's not. Right? We are only going into year 4. But because there's a lack of a strategy that was laid out to say, okay, this is what we're going to be rolling out year over year. So even if we are taking away some of our input as a government, that the private entities will know this in advance, that is not in place, right? However, there are a lot of persons that are putting in their equity into this whole transaction. I would call it a transaction, right? They're putting their time, they're putting their funds, they're putting a lot of their names on the line just to make things happen. And we're talking here in terms of the car rental guys, we're talking here the villas and accommodations. From the ones that I have spoken to, they have started doing some little upgrades to their properties specifically for that weekend, right? I even spoke to one of the guys at the car rental down at the airport. It was like 2 weeks ago. And he said he's buying a couple more units, right? Leading up through this summer vacation, straight down into Carnival. And I mean, we saw it last year. Massey, they indicated to me that they brought up additional cars just for that period. It says that the economics side of things, the island does benefit. A number of sectors do benefit during that period. All we need to do is to ensure that we do the groundwork for that to continue year on year.
I am glad that you raised that. And, you know, even as the festival grows and there becomes more responsibility for organizations like TOCA to, as you said, there needs to be an independent body. You know, the persons might say, well, you are complaining about yourself because you are the body in place to oversee and drive the growth of that festival. And if you realize that from the perspective of the TRHA, they really don't have the money to drive the festival. What are the alternatives to finding sources of funding to invest in the festival?
Well, I would say this to you. We have had countless conversations with corporate TNT, right? The telecommunications companies, the alcohol distributors, these entities. And whilst they have all said verbally, yes, sure, we will support your ban, we will support the Tobago Carnival, nothing tangible has happened. They have their policies and procedures in place to treat with when they would activate. As we all are aware, we had a change in government, and some of those same entities, their board structures would have changed. And I could say in particular, there are two entities where there's a pause, a complete pause. And you would see it in Heritage Festival. You are seeing some of these entities absent from even marketing or sponsoring these events, right? So you can see that there's a pause. They haven't had any conversations with us more than to say they have acknowledged receipts of our request and they will get back to us. So we have been knocking on doors. There are some that are bigger, some that can give in kind, some that can give in service. And yes, we are receiving. But understand that when this carnival came into being 3 years ago, we didn't initiate it, right? We joined on board because we bought into it. And again, you can't separate the private entities from the government, because at the end of the day, we all live here. Our best interest at heart is Tobago, and to ensure that Tobago is better off tomorrow than versus where it was today. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot has to be done, but we can't just have a void of silence from one of the partners. And for those that might be asking, TRHA is not an appointed body by the government. It is a group of band leaders who have volunteered their time, efforts, finances, everything together to put some structure behind what we present for Carnival. And we will continue to do that. And yes, we will have a voice, right, asking for things, because it's only right that we do the things that will make sense, that will benefit Tobago. So those would be the recommendations from us. It's not that we're sitting complaining and doing nothing, but we have shown our hand, we have shown our equity in the transaction, and we are as members putting out thousands of dollars. Some of us have already exceeded $200,000 per band. We have already spent it, committed it, right? I know of bands that have already committed to music trucks, right? A music truck on the road, if you didn't know, is at least $30,000 to $40,000 per day, right? And why would we look at putting out music trucks that cost that much? Because that is international standard, and we're bringing in international patrons. If we want to get the Forex coming into Tobago, we need to do things on a particular level to attract certain buyers, and we are doing it, right? So we are showing our hand, we are showing our efforts, we are showing our presence in the market, and I'm saying it is time for the government, the authorities, whoever, I don't know if it's just the tourism division directly, if it's through Festivals Commission. Assistant Secretary George, he has reached out on a number of occasions and saying, listen, we will chat, we will discuss, we will plan and make sure that this year is better than last year, right? And I must give kudos to him for at least reaching out. But we are still in the talking phase, and we have not done anything physically.
Right. And, even as we wrap up, there is a key role that local businesses have to play in driving that marketing of the festival, as they market themselves and market their own offerings, even as it pertains to the beauty industry, the music industry, the fashion industry, you name it. Every industry on the island has the opportunity to benefit from Tobago's Carnival. Definitely. By putting out their packages, putting out their sales, putting out what is happening for Tobago Carnival as it pertains to their particular business. Whether you're a makeup artist and you're doing makeup for the carnival, or whatever it is, you name it, your business is able to put out some type of special, some type of promotion for Carnival that benefits you on an individual level.
And you are definitely correct there.
Benefits the festival. And that is what drives the marketing.
Tobago, we as Tobagonians, we need to take advantage of that October month, because Carnival is not just over 3 days, right? It's for the entire month. Tobago needs to position ourselves. So I, as the barber, the beautician, right, the person selling fruits, where do I position myself so as these activities are happening that I can earn a dollar? Because we as the bands, we are attracting the bees to the honey, right? We are attracting the patrons. We're just asking as well as for the rest of the island. The same hotels, let's put out on your social media from now what are the special rates for that period, right? There's a robust association. I hear them on the news from time to time, you know, discussing other issues. But I'm saying your advertising, your marketing game needs to be a bit stronger so that the persons know exactly where they need to go. If it is you need to get in contact with bands, please reach out on their social medias and form the partnerships. Tobago needs Tobagonians. We need to position ourselves, no matter what industry we enter, to benefit from the visitors that will be here for the carnival.
Excellent. And this may be an opportunity for TOCA to have those conversations with the Hotel Association and the Reef Tour Operators Associations and all these different associations to ensure that there's a cohesive marketing for the carnival. That, okay, we say it's July. At July, everybody drops their carnival packages and carnival rates. While we're having band launches, we're having the car rental services coming out with their packages that says, okay, if you rent 4 days or more, you get half price off the 5th day. You know, that type of thing that helps to benefit everyone. I mean, well, I know you don't have a lot of time this morning. I want to thank you so much for coming on. And is there anything else you want to say to Tobagonians? As we indicated, there, you know, there are several factors that drive the carnival. There are the brands that come on board to support and to be promoted during that time. There are the businesses, there are the people, and then there are the mass bands. So is there anything that you want to say, you know, as it pertains to that?
Well, definitely, I would say that Carnival is approaching. We're just over 90 days to go. And Tobago, the bands are here. Check out our websites. Check out our Instagram pages. Now is the time to get acquainted with what is being offered on the market. I would say to you, mass is not like a fete where you could purchase the ticket on the day or the day before. Now is the purchasing period time. Now is the time to get involved. Now is the time to make your down payment, lock in your costume, lock in your juve, lock in whatever you have to lock in, because most bands are going to cut off come the end of August, some by mid-August, because production now has to take place. So now is the time to make at least your down payment, so at least you're in the door. Most bands' down payments are like 50% of the price of the costume. Make that down payment, get yourself involved, and get ready to enjoy one of the biggest festivals Tobago has really seen. And I would flip on my Iconic Mass hat now, right? Just to say that Iconic Mass is there. Our website, as I said, is www.iconicmastt.com. You can check us out on Instagram as well as on Facebook, iconic_mass, and you see our offerings, right? And I mean, besides Iconic, there are so many other bands out there that have put out their product. Now is the time to check them out. A lot of them are online because basically mass has changed from that physical band house where you get to come and touch and feel costumes. Yes, there may be some like that, but the majority are online. So I would say browse online, check them out, buy in, and get ready for one of the greatest festivals we're going to ever see in Tobago.
Excellent. And, you know, Tobago is that last carnival on the calendar for the year. So it's going to be the biggest and the baddest. So everybody from all the islands are coming to Tobago to enjoy that October carnival. So if you are Tobagonian, this is your time to benefit from, you know, that influx of tourists that are coming on the island. You know, one of the last things that I want to ask you, even at the National Carnival, we see cruise liners coming in and docking right outside of Hyatt, like the Vibes Carnival cruise and other cruises. Is that not conversations that TOCA can have, or, you know, just entities can have to have this influx of tourists come in from the cruise lines?
Yes. So what happens in Trinidad for National Carnival, Epic would have done it recently there. And there are promoters who, because as a promoter, would have gone into a private arrangement with the cruise line, who would have looked at how feasible something like that would be for Tobago. And yes, it's a conversation, but in terms of the level of participation, they don't see the numbers reflected there just yet. So, because that is an investment that costs millions of dollars, and you need to really make sure that you can be sold out, or at least up to a certain percentage to make it a success, right? But ideally, yes, a floating hotel here in Scarborough where masqueraders can walk onto a ship, walk off, participate. Of course, that is something that we would love to reach to that level. We'd definitely love to reach to. But first and foremost, I would love to see the room stock here on the island oversubscribed. We know that inter-island transport has been a challenge with the change in government. We're really hopeful that this time around, and we're already seeing some changes. We're really hoping that there are more changes that are going to be made to really allow for more persons to come across to Tobago, whether it be internationally or from Trinidad. And that way now, the room stock on the island would be oversubscribed. And those are good problems to have. Yeah. You know, there's the position we really want to see happening in Tobago before we look at particularly a cruise line docking and spending a weekend here with us.
Excellent. We want to thank you again for your time this morning. We're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations right after this. See you soon.
The Tobago Heritage Festival 2025. This week has the highly anticipated Folk Fiesta on Tuesday, July 15th at the Shore Park Complex from 3 p.m. We Tambrin Story 2, July 16th at the Hope Community Center. Youth Quake, July 17th at the Shore Park Complex. Courtship Codes, July 18th at the Golden Lane Government Primary School. Tobago Old Time Wedding in Mariah, July 19th. And then we head to Mason Hall on Sunday, July 20th for the games we used to play.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
My name is Tina Macmillan, your last year's third place winner and the Miss Photogenic for last year's Miss Heritage Personality Show. And this year, I want to carry you with me for my Tobago Heritage experience. I'll be hosting With Tobago Updates, bringing you live coverage behind the scenes and also their giveaways, tickets to the heritage events, and a 2-night stay to the Mandalina Grand. So you need to stay locked on to Tobago Updates on all their social media platforms, Kina Macmillan on Facebook and originalmedusa.tt on TikTok. My Tobago Heritage Experience with Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and roll back, come let me reel. I make a brush back. Do something and do something.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe Land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School Courtyard. But I forget to tell all you, it's the 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning I have on set with me Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus, former Secretary of Health in the TRHA, and this morning we're touching a bit on the current healthcare system in Tobago. Now, I believe it was last week that we saw a public release coming out from the Division of Health indicating that the healthcare system was completely overwhelmed. And as a result, citizens should take precaution in going to the hospital unless it was a major emergency. This morning in my news in 90 seconds, I spoke about one of those cases that took place with the death of an electrician in that of Mr. Daryl Figueroa, who could not have gotten a CT scan on time, and his family are now investigating whether or not that would have been or would have played a key part in his untimely demise. This morning you're here and we're talking a bit about that. Good morning again and welcome.
Good morning. And let me just set the record straight. I was not the Secretary of Health, but I was the former Secretary of Community Development and Culture. But prior to that, the medical director to the board, the TRHA board, the chairman of the TRHA board, advisor, and also lead for the commissioning team for the new hospital. So those were my portfolios prior to coming. And added to that, of course, I am a pharmacist and also medical doctor prior to being the political leader of the IDA right now. So I have had quite, a vast experience across, and not just here, but also internationally, because I trained internationally and I worked internationally before returning home. So that wealth of knowledge and experience is what I bring to the table. And I have said it before, the healthcare system is in a crisis. And the overwhelm of the system comes from a number of things. The fact that many patients complain that they cannot access medications that are supposed to be on the formulary. Now, if you are a patient and you cannot get the drugs that the doctor is telling you you need to control your high blood pressure, your diabetes, your cholesterol, etc., and you are going to the pharmacy, you can't get it there, and you don't have the resources to go by the private pharmacy to pick it up, then you have to make a choice. Do I put food on my table and eat, or do I get the drugs? If I get the drugs, do I take it as it is prescribed, or do I stretch it out so that instead of it lasting 1 month, it now lasts 2 months? And so when I do that, my numbers are all over the place. It affects my organs, it affects my kidneys, and then I end up in the hospital. Is that the patient's fault? No, we have to start treating with access to medication. Additionally, the primary care centers. Primary care has to be the focus. If primary care is not the focus, as we do in any other international healthcare sector, you are going to have your hospital system overwhelmed, and no amount of buildings, increased hospital beds will treat with this situation. It will never be enough. And so all that money they take to put into building new hospital beds, they need to put it into a robust primary care system. A primary care system that sees your social worker, your nurses, your nutritionists, your exercise coach, all being perhaps even more important than the doctor. Because primary care is really about changing behaviors. It's about getting people to understand, their lifestyle. And, the doctor could only check, when you're ill. But those other people help you to live a life of wellness. So we have to shift our focus if we are to get anywhere and ahead of the curve in terms of this whole hospital being overwhelmed situation.
There are persons who say, if the Roxborough Hospital was truly fully operational on a 24-hour basis, we would not have been in the situation that we're in now. How do you feel about that? Do you agree or disagree on that statement?
Well, that's a short-term gap. Yes, of course. If the Roxborough Hospital maybe was operational on 24 hours, possibly. Again, that is short-term, short-sighted thinking. Because even if you had it 24 hours and you don't focus on primary care and the medication list, we're still going to end up in the same situation. So it's just, what are we prepared to focus on? What you're prepared to bite the bullet on? And we have to turn it around. How many ads have we seen on Tobago updates telling people about their, lifestyle, how they should eat, how they should move? How many ads have you seen in the last 3 years consistently? That is part of primary care. Spend the money where it counts, but taking up 2.3 or 9 million dollars US dollars to buy villas, okay, to say you're outfitting them for health, that's a waste of money right now, because retrofitting those villas are going to be just like the ambulances, right? It's going to be difficult to do. If you're not building fit for purpose centers, it is going to cost you way more than it is to go and retrofit now a whole villa where you have sick people having to walk up and down steps. What essentially they need to be looking at is a step-down unit for rehabilitation, because there's some people who are in the hospital who don't necessarily need to be there, but they don't have a step-down, maybe facility for rehabilitating them to go back into their homes, or a system where they can go back home and you have regular nursing go out to check on them in their homes. If we did that, if you put that system into place, the overwhelm is not going to happen. I mean, it's not the first time that you have hospital beds that have been full. It's not the first time. Yeah? Every hospital across the world has this challenge from time to time. But that challenge does not mean you shut down the hospital. It means that you work harder to review your systems and put things in place to make sure bed management is working efficiently and effectively. And again, institutions across the world, they are focused on building a primary care sector and a wellness models that feed into making sure your hospital sectors are not overwhelmed.
Excellent. And, even as you talk about reallocating those resources to help, enhance primary care, persons may be saying, well, one of the biggest issues we have right now is the capacity of the current hospital. And the work really has to do with ensuring that we expand that capacity. And a key part of that is that Roxborough Hospital. Persons have been advocating for that Roxborough Hospital to be open, for it to be fully functional. Do you think that that's where a lot of the attention should be placed as well?
Well, we have no problem. I have no problem with dealing with the hospital in Roxborough, because it certainly deals with the terrain of leaving Roxborough to Scarborough. But there's no way you can put all of the services into the Roxborough Hospital. Yes, you will have to have some people being transferred to Scarborough, and as such you will have some people being transferred to Roxborough. Similarly, you will have some people being transferred to Trinidad, and similarly some people will have to go internationally. There's no hospital sector, even in the United States, that takes care of absolutely all patients that come in. Some patients, because of their special needs would have to be transferred to other hospitals that truly focus on those areas of specialties. So a hospital is seldom a one-stop shop. We have to be able to collaborate. You have to be able to determine what are the actual needs of the Roxborough community that you can actually put in there to ensure that the needs of the Roxborough community are met first, and then you can look at additional, maybe needs for the other places in Tobago. And so a full, assessment has to be done. But again, I go back to the fact that we keep focusing on hospitals and not on our primary care, which is our health centers, which we must turn our focus into, and those investments.
Right, and let's take a look at the drug management system, because you did touch on that earlier in the conversation, indicating that, for a number of persons, they go to the hospital and they're unable to access certain drugs. I think it was the Minister for Health who had stated in his assessment when he just came into office very recently that they found that, thousands of drugs had expired in NIPDEC. And, how does this feed into what we're currently seeing happening in Tobago? How does it trickle down? And what does Tobago have to do on an independent level to manage its own system?
So, Chanel, we are responsible for healthcare under the 5th schedule. And I don't know if our OJT health secretary understands that. And she admitted that when she was here just Monday. But we are responsible for healthcare on the island. If medications are not in your formulary, she has responsibility for social services. So you need to say, okay, I am putting aside X amount to ensure all those pensioners who have a little bit of money, who could barely buy food now, at least I could give them a voucher that if they cannot get it in the hospital, they could go to the private pharmacy and get it. And they don't have to suffer from lack of medication or lack of being able to put food on their table. Right? So a number of mothers are also with special needs. The long list of medications that they have, all of that. Let us take responsibility for what we have, not because drugs expired in NIPDEC or NIPDEC not sending drugs. You're not going to mind your own business in Tobago. We are responsible for healthcare in Tobago under the 5th schedule. And therefore, you being responsible, you have access to social services to put those vouchers in place, right? Instead, you're getting into TRHA business, right, of hiring contractor to do incinerator problems and leaving what you are supposed to do undone. As we talk about incinerator, if we think the hospital system is overwhelmed now, wait until we truly understand the impact of not having adequate incinerator services on this island, where you have rooms that are packed up with gauze, bloody gauze, infectious gauze, body parts, and all of these things seeping out from under the door. Picture that room full of all of that, and you have the fluids from the body parts seeping out from under the door. What you then have, you have your flies, you have your roaches, you have your rats, all of them going and interacting with all of that, eating that. Where else do they end up? They end up in your homes, they end up in your food systems, yes, the groceries, all of these places. And we are just sitting ducks for leptospirosis, salmonella, and E. coli outbreaks on this island. The only thing that's saving us right now is our parents and grandparents taught us, when you get up in the morning, wipe down your kitchen counter before you start, because you don't know what was crawling there overnight. Okay? Wash the glass when you take it out the cupboard. Rinse it out. Rinse the spoon when you... maybe those are the little things that are saving us right now. But we are sitting ducks for that outbreak. So again, claiming you're an OJT is not enough. This is life and death. It's life and death. And a lot of people have died over the past 3 years while you've been in training, and it is not acceptable, including this recent one. And it's questionable whether they're going to do an investigation, because the IDA over the past 3 years have seen people die, call for different investigations, and they continue to investigate themselves, and you never hear anything of the outcome of it. I still remember when I was the chairman of the TRHA, we had 5 neonatal deaths. I walked in to the seat with 5 neonatal deaths on our hands. What we did, we called for an external investigation. Because in a situation like that, it's not just a doctor or nurse you could point your finger at. You have to look at the whole system. Were they equipped? Did they have all the resources to help them to do their jobs, in the manner in which you expect? And so you have to look at the whole system. Were the labs responding in the way that it should respond? And so we got an independent group to come in and do the whole thing. And then at the end of it, we approached the families. We said, these are the findings. We spoke with them and we came out to the public. We said, these are the findings and this is what we have put in place to ensure that we are not going to be here, in the same place at another time. And that is what you expect from people in the health sector. Accountability. It's people's lives you're talking about. This is not just a road in the sea you're building. Okay? This is about people's lives, their livelihoods, their quality of life, life and death.
All right. And I'm glad you mentioned that, specifically I want to go back to that recommendation that you made as it pertains to the vouchers, for medication for senior citizens and persons with special need. And I think that that's something that should be taken into consideration. Unfortunately, we're out of time this morning, but I hope that we get to continue our discussion specifically as it pertains to Tobago Carnival in the near future. Hopefully we get to dive into that topic very soon, hopefully next week if you are available, as we talk about all that's happening on the island. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning.
To everyone.
Yes, we are in the full swing of things as it pertains to Tobago Heritage Festival. We want to thank everyone for being a part of this morning's discussions, but we want to remind you that the Pigeon Point Beach facility is back open. It's back open. Yes, it is. Some folks worked overnight to ensure that the sargassum seaweed that was there has been removed and the beach is clean and clear and pristine again. So you are able to go there and enjoy. So my producer is going to give you a look at what the beach is looking like right now. And, it is, again, open for business. Guys, yep. So you can go ahead and enjoy the beach as per usual. Well, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have done and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and you can go to the beach and have a great day.